It's still black screened. It's still black screened. Why is it still black screened? There we go. We're alive. Right. This is gonna be a quick stream, just so I can shove something on the channel, and that's pretty much my plan. Yay! Right. Space Engineers has a funny way of making ships, and you will scream every time when you try to make a combat vessel that doesn't turn out quite right. So, we've got a couple of examples here out of a quick lineup before I go on to the other stuff, which is a bit more less combat oriented focus, or well, kind of not. Bit of hard to explain. So, do you make a ship just for combat, and that's it? Or do you make a ship functional, decorative, and just for combat? So here are some, well, ignoring that in the background. We do not speak of that. Right. To explain, these are some nice, pretty ships, I would say. Wait, is that a real hole? What is this? There's a hole in my ship. Why? Right, to explain, let's have a quick look at these. So, when you're building a ship, you generally... Okay, grab a weld so I can show you armor. Right before I forget. Basically, you don't want to... Well, it's purpose built. You don't have it... You making a universal ship is next to impossible. There's always a downside. So, this is currently a carrier. And it's atmospheric base, as you can clearly see. Very boat inspired. Boat. Ignore that in the background. That disgrace. I'll show off in a minute. So, pretty much, it is what you have. You have what is basically a runway, and then guns everywhere. So, there's a few spots you could squeeze some small ships between the guns and the space. Not really functional for a carrier, it's sort of just a nice little thing, but does kind of work. Very poor defense. Well, to be fair, it's got two Gatlings that can shoot down. And anything over that, the sightline's pretty much just above, so it's not really well, it's quite strong, heavy armor, light armor mix. It's a medium fight capability, it's pretty sturdy, so, you know, it's not dreadful. Stream's hopefully looking smooth. So, yeah, so it's quite, well, it's not functional, it's not the best carrier I've ever designed, as you can clearly see. But, you know, we can go inside, it's kind of functional, you've got yourself point defense here to guard the entrance. Putting a bunch of quarters so you can. So it's got a little bit of decoration. This is currently a version that did have decoration. Actually, I think this is in the normal version as well, except maybe the interior. It's been refurbished once, so this is the refurbished version. As you can see, just basic decoration, seat, and then here's your cockpit. Here's your cargo container. That's it. That's the inside. So it's lacking, really, for ship in the sense there's no real this sort of sensation that you're on board a vessel is clearly not the best on here. It's meh, but it's for what the amount of interior you get for the size of the thing. It feels a little lackluster, but it's got the It's got the outside look down to a T. Minus the fact it's meant to be a carrier. It looks, yeah, very light carrier. So, if I remember correctly, there's some way back here to get to the certain. There it is. Right. Little functionality here. This is the reactor room and batteries. Little sneaky thing of there's where you can jump start the reactor. So it is, in some sense, survival built, or ideally built in survival idea in mind. Like I said, it's quite combat capable-ish. The reactor room is clearly here, this chunky section. Clearly overweight, so you could probably shoot a lot of thrusters out and, well, drop it down. But that's a planet-based ship. It has its downfalls. Next, we're moving on to what is a destroyer. Though honestly, it probably is more frigated, if you relatively. But you know, it's quite balanced. You've got missiles, Gatlings, in a good selection. Well, forwards covered, ups covered, back sides are covered. Back's decently covered, and I think it's got my usual problem of underside is a little lacking, but the front has some arc, so you're not dreadful. You can shoot pretty much just up close. There is a few blind spots, but that's all ships. Right, quick tour shall we have of actually? Let me just delete that so it's lessens the frames just to be safe, because I think there's a certain ship I won't talk about in a minute that might be causing some lag spikes. Feel a little choppy, but So this thing made a while ago, it's gone, because I'm bad with names. We have small deck. This one's unlike the that one over there, which is piped up. This one's definitely piped up better. Just simply you have a bit of a hanger, not massive, nothing fancy. Some flashy lights that give you epilepsy if you're not careful. This one's actually pressurized, which go me. Saying it's an older ship, so it's kind of decorated like so. Certain updates came after this, as you can clearly tell by its age. Interior of lackingness. Yeah. A few things. Oops. Is it going well? Apparently the key must have buffered there. So the med bay is tucked in here. Somehow. Like, this is a room for a med bay. The other side, I think, is just a staircase, as you can see, so God knows how I've squeezed all this in. This one surprisingly got a lot of interior out of not a very big ship, which is sort of a miracle. But the interior is not massive in the sense, so yeah. This is a multi-purpose ship. Works on planet. Works on all of them, I presume. I haven't actually tested on the 1.25 G1 yet, but she didn't have Atmos, but she should have enough hydrogen, so she should be alright. And that's her. Scon's pretty simple. She's a quick light destroyer. Nothing. She's quite sturdy. Nothing over sturdy, but Right, onto the Orion Cruiser. I never really know what it was, because technically that is also the Orion, but that's the ugly child, the ugly duckling don't talk about. So, funny story this one. How to explain it? Joined random public server, flew around for a few hours, whatever, doing whatever. Found a bunch of people as a creative, so it was sort of dodgy. I don't know if I was in the carrier. Found this on Mars. It was an alien planet, I think, actually, to speak the truth. And this is my retrofit of this, because this thing, it was lag to hell, because the amount conveyor, basically the entire base of it was just thrusters of small hydrogen thrusters. So I've converted it, and this is currently the working model that works in atmosphere, planet, and I think it's actually lacking in gyros, if I remember correctly, which is kind of funny. I think this is where it's got gyroscopes. What is it lacking? Or is it just me? I think it's got something wrong with it. Or is it the fact that I don't think it flies quite well in atmosphere? Oh, it flies well in atmosphere. No, is it fly? I don't even. It might fly in atmosphere. I don't remember. There was something I needed to do to this that I don't remember, but it kind of works. It's definitely has an interior focus on this. As you can see, it's light armor. Some concern of I have not a clue what happened here. It's meant to be finished, no lights, but I normally forget lights anyway, so. Front of ship, I think. Oh, because I just put this place ain't pressurized. Why aren't you pressurized? Just a couple decks of stuff you can. I think it's just a bunch of cargo containers. It's really just a complete mess, this ship. But ayo. I haven't battle tested it, but it's only light armor, so it would do decent, I would say. Though it's not heavily armored. It's quite hell, so pretty much it's really a carrier, more bait carrier based, bit of a multi-role. That's why You ain't sealed. I thought I put glass here. Perhaps you didn't actually save. I must have knocked glass out of place. Oopsie. Yeah, but it's kind of a rush finished project, really. So pretty much, it's this, and now we're actually walking up to a bit. So when it was the multi-build part, all you've seen pretty much I've retrofitted. The bridge section was purely me when we were building the ship, which I think you can tell by some. Well, I'll go back outside. This honestly is a beautiful looking bridge. Outdid myself. So even though the entire ship's been redone by me, the bridge is original to the first version of this I have saved. And, well, it's sleek. It's really goddamn sleek. Well, I think I've outdone myself with the bridge. Which is a pretty good achievement, I would say. This section really aids. It's just, I had to get pipe in somewhere. It, honestly, this place is really just wacky. As you can see, I put this is an original save. If it didn't get turned off, I actually put my ship on here. Jokes. And these didn't used to be tables around here. God knows. Problem is, I probably built half of this, and then half of it got taken out if someone came to inspect the bridge. But most of it actually stayed the same, honestly. When I originally built this in the, like I said, there wasn't just a random multiplayer server. But yeah, that's that ship, and we might as well. I know it's been 11 minutes and I've rushed through this, but I've got a bunch of stuff to show, and I want to we don't think. Yeah, mirroring and writing doesn't work. Orion HMS, whatever. Top to bottom, well, that's clear the bottom, and some things are missing. And as you can see, this thing was built with well, next to no care. It's really a mess. I think it's actually heavy armor, which is the only benefit, and the fact it's got guns pretty well much, and it's got a meh carrying capacity. It's kind of old school built, I would say. It's very old school inspired. As you can see, this was when this digital thing came out. Interior, good ceiling heights apparently. I think this is the CIC, which is one of the first CICs I probably actually made, to be fair. Didn't really do much. I was more of a bridge guy. Because half the time, well, to be fair, the central ship only got knocked out before the bridge did sometimes. As usual, no chair, because I never put one in the CIC, so. Structural beam, God knows. So this almost hurts my eyes, and it's almost pleasant on the eyes of digital camo. What's in here? Seats, yep. Oh, I remember this. I actually like this feeling of the cafeteria, even though it's just a sham. Hydrogen. It feels like a ship, honestly, on the inside. The inside, I was before it was pretty much built from the inside out. And then the outside got the usual treatment, so surprisingly, it's well made interiorly, I would say. And, well, that's dodgy, but you know, that's my dodgy staircase is built. These are jump drives, aren't they? Yeah. Feels more like a set piece than an actual ship, which, well, the problem is with these set pieces, they're sort of half and half ship, half set piece. And here's the bridge. Or is this the observation deck and then the bridge goes? Yes, there's a lower bridge. And here's the observation deck, which you can't actually see your own ship. It's really bizarre. God knows what was going through my brain. I think I just sort of had a seizure. But that's that, Ryan. And now we're to the more sensible stuff. Where some stuff was thought out. The JPM. Oh, that's the wrong button. The JPM section. Where to start? I think I've shown off some of these before, which I'll just rush through because I've got a couple things I want to test out. Some dodgy. Right. Right. To simply say, these are the more well-built stuff. So we've got a cruiser, light cruiser. Simple. She's multi-purpose, works everywhere you need her to. Armament, meh. She's got a couple of missiles and she's got a couple of Gatlings. She's very not strong. Well, she's surprisingly strong if using default guns. Anything modded, and you pretty much can damage the one reactor like that. It's a bit of a glass cannon, but if you're using default guns, you literally, when I've tested this, you had to rip it apart shred to shred. So, well, for a light ship, she's fairly strong. In the armament department, well, the armored department, should I say, interior, I won't go through everything I showed off before, but pretty much empty deck, staircase, up to the bridge. There's a bit to get to the hydrant thrusters underneath, which is a small little hallway, engineering, floor, upper engineering, reactor rooms in here, that 4 core, yeah, so that's pretty much it. As a quick overview, which is pretty meh. Then I think I showed off the light carrier before, but I'll do it again. Well, okay, I'll show off the frigate, which is very much of a exterior set piece only. She's, well, armament-wise, she's overpowered for the amount of rockets she has at the front, and she has a couple turrets. She's really light, very skinny, she's quick, she's maneuverable. She's really sort of the throwaway ship if in this fleet as a exterior set piece only, and dodged and designed if that. Yes, I am the right way up, and that's it. She's got decent thrusters, and that. So really, she's a throwaway ship. Like I said, she's cheap, she's maneuverable. She's there to go in, do a bit of damage, and get wiped out. The cruiser, well, you can argue it's more of patrol, it's more meant to last, it's sort of, you know, it's more of a ship. This thing's more of a glass cannon. The, oh god, come on. The light carrier you can see here, atmospheric, and it's multi-purpose as well, unlike the frigate. The frigate's just irons. This one's like the cruiser, so this and the cruiser sort of goes hand in hand. You send them everywhere. This is what the idea of the cruiser and this light carrier, whereas the multi-purpose, relatively strong. This one's this one's weaker, clearly by design, but it's got the big frontal bit, so if worst comes to worst in ship combat, you've got a big ram. Hangar space, meh. Interior, next to none other than bridge, hangar, and, well, whatever's connected in between. Guns, meh. She's just multi-purpose, that's the general point. Now the next one's the heavy line. The heavy cruiser. Which we have here, which I've shown before, which I used a fair bit before. Which is sort of a mixed bag. She looks phenomenal on the outside. She performs pretty good. Moon access, meh. She's sort of a little heavy on the moon side. Top bridge, I'll actually show this one off because this one's got a decent interior to get my point, so. There's actually a control panel here. Gravity's not actually out here, don't. Actually, no gravity at all, but never mind. Right, so basically she's hangar space, which is pretty good. And interior-wise, she's got this for outside docking bays. That's why I suppose it's not pressurized. So she's pretty much this main hallway, turrets. Front of the ship, more turrets, rocket access. I think a bit of space armoring above here, as you can see, reactor. So she's very much a well-designed, so a well-felt ship. She's got a lot of interior, saying she's pretty much performance focused. Surprisingly. Reactor. Lobby. Locked off jumpstart reactor pens, which I think you can still get into if I really tried. Yep. got the most weirdest staircase design ever built, because these things are really stupid. And you have Bridge. She works pretty well. That's the point. She's pretty well. She's a mixed bag. She's light and heavy, but she's quite heavy on the design. So the core and bulk armor part is pretty good. She's pretty strong in places, pretty weak in places, but she's a bit of a mixed bag. But she's a quality cruiser, and that kind of is what you want. What am I looking at now before I get disgruntled? Right. Talking about this gal, shall we call it? The Battle Cruiser, which is sort of a performance-only base ship and very minimal interior. So she's got rockets, don't have 4 broken ones that don't particularly work because of this, but AO. And she's turrets. She's quite sturdy. Like, if I think I was on stream where I actually threw this against the Dreadnought, and she turned out pretty well. She didn't die. She got ripped to shreds, and then she finally killed over, which is impressive and a half. This is her interior, and then there's the CIC down here, which is just performance-wise, you're not going to get one shot by anything. Particularly, is the idea. She's quick, she's a bit maneuverable, she has decent, well, she's basically just turrets. That's it. Clearly not the best designed. Some clear issues. She's got some weak points, like a frontal attack, kill, wipe out them, but these are relatively protected for a side bombardment here. She's probably got one of the best coverage designs I've actually made, so you can probably get shot practically everywhere on here, minus probably the side, some of the roll angles here. But you know, one of the more better designed, and I think for the JPM ships, if I'm not forgetting, I know I've got that we're looking for large ships, looking at the one I want to show off more or less. The heavy carrier, which I will be doing a quick battle test shortly. Because this is my newer design of ship, the newest one in the collection of JPM. And, well, she's sort of a weirdo. Best way to put it. She's covered in guns, just because it felt like it. Yeah. Ugh. She's a carrier, which you can tell by the deck, because I can't help myself making a deck. We can show off Bridge first, so pretty well can show off this. She can fit the JPM fighters. The Pelican squeezes in here just about. It was actually, I think I need to remove this line of blocks here, and then she'll actually fit in perfectly if designed right by me. She was skeleton built, so this is one of the few times I've actually built a ship like this, so this is quite unique. So I think it's quite sturdy. Haven't actually battle tested it, but you know, it's uniquely built to my style. So I've either built interiors or built out exteriors first. This one was built with a skeleton in mind, so it was sort of built up with a bunch of heavy armor, steel girders, and the bridge. Basically, I rushed the bridge because I hated the bridge. I was hating this at this point because most of it got focused on down there. So the bridge is just sort of really a sham. But it's kind of got a cool flight deck. And smart, I'll spot a turret on the sides. Yes, she's pretty much pressure-wise. I'm fairly sure. I'm not missing any spots. The bridge was sort of just thrown up together to look cool, and that was it. So interior-wise, you got the hangar that can enter there. We've got deck access, which gets you all the way down here, which is mirrored. Might explain why half of it might not be pressurized, you know. Door. There we go, just cause a quick leg spike. I think there's another door down here, if I remember right. Yep, another door, so she's got 2 deck access here. Obviously this is clearly a newer ship because it's newer blocks put in here. And yep. Well, she's got lower hanger here, which is a bit of an interesting design concept, and the side doors, so we can go for the airlocks. And she's not. Well, this can be pressurized, but I'm having a feeling you're not wanting to play ball, are you? Not wanting to play hooky, right? As you see, you got catwalk here, hanger here, lights, no real highlights. The hanger trying to save on lag. Go up here. It's looking a little choppy on stream. It's moved out again, cool. So cargo, apparently thruster access, so I don't know if I've actually forgotten to replace some armor here, or most likely I forgot to put armor here and I forgot to cover that up again. But oh well, because I think I had to, yeah, things were really dodgily built around here. Like I said, the last half was very much rusted, uh, access, oxygen generators, reactors that you can kickstart it. Engineering was sort of forgotten about because I started really getting sick of the ship, but you know, parts we thought about. Mirrored both sides, jump drives, um, vent. She's not happy to be pressurized today. What's happening? Lights are double checking I haven't got backed up anywhere. Oh, this is pressurizing now somehow. Yeah. God knows. I think she was having a hissy fit, or she's overloading somewhere, or she's doing room by room. But we have well, same side bit of engineering storage. We have what is pipe access and walkways and hangars. Which is pretty much it for this. This is just running the length of the ship now. Well, we have, this should lead us out to the hangar, which we'll come back to soon in a minute. As you can see, this is this deck, and so this is what bottom deck would look like, and this deck. Oops, is our lovely overlook area of the hangar. Clunk clunk. Go along, get speed up, and that's pretty much. I don't know about the stream stop having to see fit. There we go. That's the length of that. How do I get down from here? I have to go back around again, which is gonna be a pain in the ass. So I might as well just go in the hangar this way. Well, she's got interior, like I said, but she's a little bit of a oddball. So this is main hangar space. Lights minimal. This will take you up to the interchange area. And yeah. So like I said, she can fit a Pelican in here just about in places a bit odd, not perfect. I'm lagging, stream's lagging. I think the stream's just causing space to just have a hissy fit, which is a bit weird. This looks pretty slideshowy, but okay, it's fixed itself. Just have to be careful. Right. So this is access to lower hangar, other than taking the... So basically, in the drop pod area, there's a drop down bit to a door. Which you can see at the end of here. And this is pretty much a lower hangar. It can fit like, some fighters and some ground units maybe. And the hangar's down to the outside. And that's pretty much the ship. However, since she's not liking movement very much, I don't think she's amazing to battle test against two of them. But is she happy now? She feels a lot smoother now, so I'll blame. Well, I know the stream is being awkward. I think what's happening is frames are dropping or probably spiking just under 30 or getting near 30, which is annoying up the streaming process, which is annoying. Let's go turret. Let's just it was interesting. So now she's fully armed to fight me. As we can see, if I dropped here, very good machine gun coverage. So let's give her a little bit of hell. JPM frigate, maybe. A light frigate, should I say. It's not really a heavy frigate, which I could build at some point. So I'm looking at disabling the ship, which at this point would be destroying it. Because I don't actually know how to kill that ship, honestly. She's well made, let's just say she's fairly well made. And for my standards, she's well made. Almost probably second, maybe even second to the Dreadnought, honestly. The bridge, weakest bit. But the Dreadnought's extreme. This thing is just pretty armoured. What's you? Ooh, I got a thingy message, Teams message, that's what that beep was. And it's crashed my game. Mother. So you can still see the game, I can't. Which is a bit annoying. My game is completely crashed and I have no access to it anymore, I don't think. Yep. You know what, this will be the stream, guys. I'm having a little bit of technical issues here. Like I said, I've got seven notifications saying something's fucking up. Yeah, it's just spiking in places, so I'll end it here, guys, and this will just be sort of, I think Wi-Fi's being a bit off this past couple of days as well, so it's probably someone's twiddled with a Wi-Fi box at the top and knocked something, so it's a bit dodgy, who knows. Ugh, God, my game's honestly gone. Jesus, I need to restart my computer. Okay, I'm ending the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Little peekaboo. I'm losing my mind. This is just something to put on my channel because I was wanting to do a TTT stream again, but the server never really got full up, and it did the other day, and it was like, a bunch of randos being annoying, so.